everyone, it's Veronica again. Welcome back to another video. Today we are officially going to do a wire wrapped cabochon, a very basic wrap. And the reason for that is because for beginners, I guess basically what I would like to show you is that you can actually take even those stones that you get in the bags over at the dollar store, not the brown ones or the black ones, but the actual clear ones. Those are actually little cabochons. You can practice on them and then they have like a color coating on them. You can actually scratch that off if you want it just to be clear, so that you can put any color wire on it, or you can leave the color on it, or you can just buy the ones that are just clear. So to practice on that, you could even go to like Home Depot or some hardware store and buy a roll of their aluminum. I mean, you could pay $6 and you'll get like this enormous amount of aluminum wire, and it's very soft. You can get like a 10 gauge, 18 gauge. I think you can even get a 20 gauge. Just check it out. Those you can practice with, because you won't be spending a lot of money when you're using that kind of wire as opposed to artistic wire. And I don't mean the brand name artistic wire, because I know that there is a brand name, but the artisan wire that or designer wire is what will cost a little bit more, because of the process that they do to get it so that it is non-tarnished, and that it's even, and all kinds of stuff. So I'm just going to do a basic wrap. This way you guys can take that, practice on it, and then this way you're going to get used to with whatever it is your fingers will do. Watch videos on, people who are advanced. This way you can see how they move their thumbs, their fingers across the wire, to manipulate it and to keep it nice and smooth, so that it's not jagged and things like that. Now, I know doing swirls, sometimes they just come out so perfect. Sometimes you're just like completely frustrated. And I think it's because we tend to overthink that. So if you don't overthink on your swirls, you'll find that more often than not, your swirls will come out nice. And if you just if you're not good at swirls, practice on the side and leave your pieces to just the basic, wire wrap that's in there, okay? So I have two 10-inch. This is the 22 gauge. Normally I'll use a 20 gauge or an 18 gauge, and I am not advanced at all. I do want to tell you that. I dabble in it every once in a while, so I don't make these intricate designs. I try to stick with the same stuff that I do, but try to shape it differently, and you just get a beautiful result. And honestly, I think that you don't have to overdo it to get a beautiful result, because there are people out there that don't do that stuff, and they will look at your piece and go, wow, that's amazing, because they don't know what's behind the manipulation of the wire and all of that and all the things that you do. And eventually you're going to find it so easy, and they may look at it and look at it like it's complicated, just like we did in the beginning. So get yourself the good painter's tape, like I've mentioned in my previous videos. You want to straighten out your 22 gauge or whatever wire you want to choose from. I would say do not go above 24 if you're starting out. I would certainly not do that. So you're going to take and you're going to just cut out, take a strip, just a little strip, and you're going to just kind of make a flag on it. But you want to make sure you press it down on there, and it has, like I said, it has to be the good tape, the good brand, because any other tape is going to leave residue, or it's going to get so stuck that you're going to be scraping it off like it's gunky goo, okay? And so you don't want to do that. Okay, now we are going to be doing some wire weaving in here, And I am going to be using the 28 gauge gold. It's just so you can see the contrast, but also because there is green in here. I wanted to show you from this direction. If you can see, I know that the light isn't here, but right there, it almost looks like a butterfly is behind something, doesn't it? But with the green in here, that gold is going to look fine, just fine. And it is such a beautiful champagne gold that it really isn't going to be such a contrast that people are going to go, oh, why are you mixing metals? I honestly, like I said, if you do it right, and you can make it so that it's aesthetically pleasing to the eye. Nobody's going to ever look at it and go, what in the world did you do? Unless you really just didn't mix them well. So I have about 4 feet of the 28 gauge, and it's probably going to be way more than I need, but it's because I want to do, you know, a weave pattern as opposed to just going around the 2. That would be basic. So the rest of this is going to be pretty basic. I just want to be able to show you that you can do a simple weave in here without, you know, thinking, oh gosh, it's so boring. All I'm going to do is just wrap around here and then wrap around once we get to the top. So this is going to be the only part here that is going to give it some of that aesthetic pleasing factor to it, okay? Aside from what we do at the top. So what you're going to do is you're going to come in between the 2, okay? And just bend this, get yourself a long enough tail so you can at least grip onto it. And hold on to it with your thumb. Hold the 2. So you want to kind of go in the middle. So right about the 5-inch mark, go to the 5-inch, and you're going to come up to about the 5-inch. I don't know if you can see that. This glare is ridiculous, but it's that basic. Just go to your ruler, go to the 5-inch, and come back about, you know, 1/8 of an inch or whatever. And at that point now, you're going to anchor it onto this. And I want to be able to stay in frame here. So you're going to take that, you're going to just come around the bottom. Okay, you're going to wrap it around 3 times and give it a nice tug and a push with your fingers. We're going to get them together and do 3 wraps, okay? So you can push those together. And you want to make sure your wires are not overlapping, that they are right next to each other, okay? So I'm going to have to come back a little because the camera does not want to focus when I'm that close. Alright. Now, try to keep them nice and even and straight. Bring them together, because now you're going to take that wire and you're going to come over both of them. And make sure you do not go over it. Stay next to it. Do not cross them. Okay? And be careful you do not kink up your wires. So now you're going to do that 3 times. Okay? And just keep, you're going to have to manage to get them, pushing them close together again, okay? Now you're going to come back down on your bottom wire. 1, 2, 3, okay? And then you're going to go over the 2 again 3 times. Make sure you do not cross your wires. 2, 3. And again, check your working wire so that it's not being kinked up. Now from here, you can take your, flat nose pliers, tweezer nose pliers, and what you're going to do is just give it a gentle push so that you're flattening it out to hold it onto there. You can push it together, okay? Now we're going to do 3 more on the bottom wire. 2. Just double check. Okay, so I have 3 there. Now I want to come up and do 3 again. 1. Sorry, I'm hitting that is because I don't want my wire to kink, because I don't have that much room between here and the camera. So I'm going to move this instead of my wire going, my hand moving around. Okay, and again, you can keep just cinching it together. Okay, now we're going to do it again. 1, 2, 3. And like I said, it's, the 4 feet is probably a lot more than I need. But a lot of times, if I am doing a base here, I'm doing a lot longer because I'm doing something different, and I always tend to have a lot more going on with the 28 gauge or 26 gauge. Okay, so we want to double check. 1, 2, 3, and we want to make sure that that does not cross over any other wire that you are wrapping around. 1, oops, everything's getting stuck. 2 and 3. Okay, now you can come in again and gently give it a squeeze. Okay, and you can see a nice pattern. Okay, so I want to measure this, see what we got. So I probably want to bring it to the 1/2 inch mark, almost there, because this is going to be the bottom of the, it's going to be the bottom here. Okay, like I said, this is going to be basic because there's going to be other stuff where we can actually take it and then form it into a V. All right, so now we're going to the, make sure that's not going to cross. 1, 2, 3. Sorry about that. Getting out of the frame here because I have to make sure that my wire doesn't get caught. Okay, now we're going to go again, go to the bottom. 1, 2, and you don't need a death grip on this because you'll start to bend it and get all cockeyed and everything, so you don't want to do that. Believe me, I've done it. I got some pretty strong hands. I was just always like that, so I had to learn to back off on things. Okay, so what did I miscounted. There's 2. Okay, one more. 3. Okay. And then again, bring them together. I'm going to have to do that side once I take that tape off, and then just redo that side. Or, you know, fix it up because my hands are squishing it. Okay. Okay, around the 2. Again, make sure your wires are not crossing. 2. 3. And between the 2, let's come back out. Now what I'm going to do is squish that a little and squish it. Okay. I'm going to separate that a little bit. Sorry, you'll probably hear my AC go on because it's been so beautiful here out on the East Coast, up in the 70s. It's really, really nice. We get that like every 5 to 10 years, so it's not climate change, people. Just, you know, if you're not old enough to remember that these things have happened, and they always will, if you understand the Word of God, He says that, you know, the 4 seasons will go on forever. Well, we will always have the 4 seasons. And the reason for that is because that is a renewing, and especially for agriculture. And if you read the Word of God, He uses a lot of agriculture in His parables and things, is because God, and it's called husbandry, which is the reason why God says that He is our husband, because husbandry in agricultural is that which manages, the managing of the crops, and God above all is our manager of His creation. And so if we're down here planting seeds, not only spiritually but physically, who do you think is going to tend to that? Well, He gave us the gifts to do that. So, anyway, let's get back here. So 1. Oops, see? Look, I almost crossed it over, just so you can see what it looks like. See that? You don't want that to happen. So always make sure they're next to each other. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, I want to... And then, let's see, I think this is going to be the last 3 on the bottom. We'll end it with 3 because we started with 3. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so let's see where we're at. So get them together, get them nice and tight together. Do another squeeze here. So now I'm going to go and snip this right. If you look here, let me now I want to try to bring this close. If you snip it, I'm having a hard time here because of the weight. So let's say this is this will be the inside of the stone. You always want any pieces, if this is the inside, to bring it up just a little bit more. Okay, and we're going to snip right there. And the reason for that is, sorry, I dropped my wire. I got a good 2 feet left. So yeah, so believe it or not, you use quite a bit even when you're doing a 1/2 inch. So if you can see, you don't want that to be sticking out. So you just want to take your little tweezer nose pliers and bring it up and flatten that. Make sure everything is nice. So you got yourself a nice little weave, and it wasn't that hard. So I'm going to take this end off here so that I can just tidy this end up and make sure nothing is crossed over, okay? Because a piece, from me pushing it, it looks like it went over, so we will fix that. Okay, so so you just basically want to go ahead and try to cut that. I mean, if you have like one of those, you know, just be careful. You don't want to cut yourself, obviously. Just get enough of a tear in it so you can just tear it right off, okay? And then, because you just squeeze it on there so hard that you just want to make sure you can. And that's not that goopy stuff, it's just the tape that would not come with it. Okay, we're going to be snipping off that anyway. But yeah, you'll tell the difference between whether it's tape or whether it's goo. Okay, this is just actual tape. Okay, see? You'll be able to tell if it's goo. It just will not come off. Without having to take some sort of soap or water or something. Okay, so double check. And if you're not dead center, I wouldn't worry about it too much. Okay, so I'm pretty much in the center. Okay, it's not exact, but that doesn't matter. So now what we're going to do is take our stone, move everything out of the way. Now this is the challenging part, but like I said, let me fix this side. All right, to make sure that you can get this down, and don't be on a slippery surface. That's going to make it a lot harder. So this is the challenging part, and I actually put something else here. I don't actually have my jewelry mats, as you call it. I have to wash them anyway, so I took them down and I put something, you know, like a table cover, and then this is one of my pillowcases that has that material. I don't use this for my head. This was something that somebody gave me, and I just had it in the closet, so I decided this is what I wanted. And it's not so fluffy. All right, so what you want to do is try to center that. Now, if you can see that it's quite thick. So just so we can shape it, and again, remember which side you're using for the inside, where we made sure that any of our pokies will be on the inside, which is going to face here. So, and just take your time, okay? So we're going to go ahead and shape that. If you feel that you need to get onto a flat surface, then by all means, go ahead and do that. Okay, so we just want to get around there. And the reason why I'm using around is because it's like you can't miss. So then you're just going to bring it up, okay, and try to get it around. So even if you hold one side, push that over, okay, and then take the other side, okay, and hold that tight. Make sure it's nice and even, okay, and bring it, you know, you want to kind of exaggerate a little bit because it seems to want to bounce back, okay. So it looks like right now we have that. So we're going to end up making it so that we can pinch those together. Okay. We want to make sure that they're going to stay pretty stable. Okay. Make sure it's on there. So now right about there, you want to kind of, you know, you want a little bit of space at the top, only because that's where I'm going to be bringing some wire through. Okay, so give it a nice pinch here. Okay, it's going to spring back. Okay, so we're going to just double check. Make sure your wires are not crossed. And just kind of straighten it out. And like I said, you could take it on a flat surface. I can't pull this away because I have it taped down. So put it on a flat surface to make sure that it's not rocking back and forth. So gently just do that. And make sure that, again, make sure they're not crossing over. Okay, so when you have your two, so I'm just making sure. Usually on a flat surface it's better. So as you can see, it's coming together like that. Okay, so I want to see if it's still going to be so we have two wires that are going to go on each side, and they are each going to play a part. Okay, so again, you know, wire work is not something that you just willy-nilly do. You have to have the patience, which is probably the reason why I don't do it all the time, because it does take a lot of time. And so by the time you look at the clock, you realize 4 hours have passed in a blink of an eye. So yeah, so I just want to push that. Okay, so again, make sure your wires are not crossed. Just trying to straighten that out. Okay. Keep checking. I think that's going to be good. Now, what we're going to do here, hold on to that good here. Now we're going to take our you're going to take whatever leftover you have. If you don't have anything left over because you only did about, you know, 1.5 feet or whatever, just find, you got 2 on this side and 2 on the other side. Okay, make sure they're not crossed. And you want to take one of those wires. I would say go for the back part. It's kind of hard to see with all this shininess. Okay. Take this back wire, because again, you have to anchor this. So come in between. Same thing, just hold on to it and wrap it around like 2 or 3 times. Okay, 1 and 2. So now this is where we're going to bring them together. Okay. Just bring that down right at the corner there. We're going to snip that off in a bit. So bring those together. Again, double check your wires are not crossed. Straighten them out if you have to. Okay. And like I said, this is a 22 gauge, so got to be careful not to use, you know, a death grip on this. I'm going to double check since I've made some movements here. Okay. So I'm going to hold that right about there. I need to hold on to that. So just stick it in between your fingers. We're going to get that wrapped around all of them at this point. Now, you don't want to make it too tight at this point because we have to go back and check and make sure our wires did not cross. So I'm just going to do a loose wrap again. It's very easy for them to get twisted. So I want to keep them. And I have never done a wire wrapping like this in a camera, so I hope that I can get through this with no problems. I may have to. I'm having a hard time seeing this. I can't tell which wire is which and goes where. It's really bothering me. Wow, this is crazy. Okay. All right, so that's going in quite nicely. So now, before we finish this off, I know it's looking a little wonky right now, but we want to try to get it so that they're nice, and keep your fingers there, because now what we're going to do, just to start it off, right in here, okay? Right here where your weave ends, okay? See both sides here? What you're going to do is you're going to have to separate this, but hold on to that because I got them nice and straight now. Okay? Try to separate it with your fingers, okay, so that you can get this in. So right here, the tool's here. You're going to come in. Okay, you're going to get to that edge there. Okay, you lifted it up a little bit, and you want to take that and get your finger so that it's, that part don't move, okay? You're going to go right up against the edge, and you're going to slightly turn inward, okay? So that you have that. Same thing here. To get in there and separate it enough so you can get that in there, and you're gonna lift it up enough because we need to have that covering. And you're gonna come to, let's see if I can get this, get that wrapped around there, get this out of the way. And now you're going to come here to this side, right up against that weave. Hold your thumb right here because you don't want this to come in with it. You want to keep it outward. Okay? And then just, oops. Honestly. Gotta, see, lift it up a little. And hold that here and turn in a little, okay? And lift that up. All right, so it's going to look like that. Okay. And you also brought this in a little bit. So this should hold the stone if you put it in the back. Okay, this is why we have to keep testing it. Get that stone in there. Okay. So you'll see how it goes right over that to hold it in. Now that we have that stone in just like that, we're going to do it just a wee bit more. Okay, so make sure you're holding here so you're not pulling that in just yet. Hold your thumb there, and I just want to come in a wee bit more. Okay, and then this side the same thing. Hold on to that so that it doesn't move forward when you move this part forward. Just a wee bit, okay? Now we can do the same for the back, but this time, okay, so what we have to do is pull that, okay, because it's a very thick stone, and you know that depends on the thickness of your stone. You'll be able to tell how you're going to manipulate that. Okay, make sure this stays at the bottom. So, and again, this is all going to have to, we're going to work on that. So as long as we can get this pretty much same. Okay, so now again you go right to the edge of your weave. Okay. Oh no. See this, it's hard to work with a 22. Okay, let's try that again. Have it up against that, move that wee bit, get to the edge right there, and turn. Okay. Make sure that that is okay. Now we're going to have our thumb here. Oh, I'm having a hard time here, but this is just not easy stuff. Okay. Okay, now you can always just double check up here. Okay. And now, if you feel that you've gotten your stone in there and you're comfortable with the position, you can hold it. And then you can actually take your pliers and squeeze right in there just to kind of bring it, give it some more stability, okay? And just double check to see where everything is. You got your two here, your two here. Ooh, 22 is just not my thing. Okay, so I want to try to get them next to each other now because this whole thing is... Alright, so all that noise is from the wire getting stuck, by the way. So if you're hearing all that clanging noise. Okay, so we're going to pull that down now. Okay. And just manipulate it enough. Again, take your time so that, you know, the stone, you know, it may turn in here, but we want it so that it's not going to slip out. And that's the reason why we have this. We have this. If you want to use 3 and you're comfortable with that, but by the time we finish this, it should we should be able to have this. It's not going to slip out anyway. So unless somebody comes by and yanks this apart, you should be fine. Okay. So I'm going to take a look at this. Here. I want to be able to get this wrapped up around here. Okay, so now I want to hold back onto this down here. Take this and hold this down here, because now we're going to try to finish off this wrap. So you can come back a little bit. Okay. And go ahead and wrap around a few times. Give it a nice snug fit. Okay, I want to make sure I have 1, 2. Okay, these two are going to go in the front, these two are going to go in the back. Okay. Alright, so you really can go ahead and make that tight. And again, gently. Okay, so I have 2 in the front and I have 2 in the back, okay? I'm having a hard time seeing. Okay, so I gotta, let me find the 2, because this is driving me nuts. I'm having a hard time with all this shininess. 1 second. Okay, so I found them. These, so I got 2 facing the front and 2 in the back. Okay. So, and then we have, this was that end wire that we used to start the anchoring here. So what I'm going to do is I am going to put it through here. And the reason for that is because we're going to actually just add a little pearl to it, okay, or a little glass bead. So I'm bringing it through the front, okay, and I'm going to come around again, okay, make sure it doesn't get kinked. Alright, just gently pull and then push them up. Okay, and then we are going to put on, it's my little 4mm, just a little glass pearl. Like I said, I want to get any extra stuff off that. So you're going to put that on there. I don't like that extra paint. Like I said, I'm not using, you know, any top-notch stuff here because I want to, excuse me. All right, so I'm going to be able to place it in there. Okay, but first get it so that you can wrap around. You're going to flip it over and you're going to go through the other side and we'll make the adjustment. Okay, this is where you probably use your tweezers to pull it through. And this, just gently do it because you're going to need to place it in there. You don't want the hole sticking out, so you want it sideways. Okay, so you can actually shove it in there. Get that wire. Okay, this takes patience. I'm just glad I'm doing it on a Friday. Okay, so let's see if we can. Okay, now let's manipulate that in there. I want it up a little more. bring it around one more time. Make sure we can get it, find it in there. Just doing a wrap. I have to come in and separate this just a wee bit until I can. I may have to just cross this. All right, well, take that. Okay. I'm going to get it so that it's facing in this direction. So again, you just have to take your wire, manipulate it so it's facing that way. So then we'll just snip that off right there. I just want to make sure that that is around. All right. And then flatten that. All right. Now we still have this space in here. Can you see that? All right. This is where we can, just want to make sure that we can go around this, still have space for the wires to get through. Okay, so you're going to pull 2 to the back, 2 to the front, and I still have this on here, okay, because we're going to need this. Now we're going to continue to weave up on our bail. So the 2 in the front, let's see, we can move, I don't know, left or right. You know, I'm going to leave them forward just for now. So these 2 right here, you can take and use this that's been here and just do the one single wrap around both of your wires, excuse me, or you can do that same weave that we did down here. So you can see how nice that is. So you can actually do your bail, this is going to be for the bail, and do that the same way. I'm going to try to just straighten this out a little bit because I had to try to make sure I had the right wires that I was pulling. It was so hard to see. So, you know, maybe I should have done something with color, you know, with the brown or the bronze or the gold, but because I picked the blue, you know, the silver looks really pretty with that. Okay, so now you're going to come in here, you're going to go in between them, and you're going to just do about 3 wraps. Okay, get them together. Okay, and now we're going to go and do the 3 wraps here. And you can do a totally different weave. It's totally up to you. You don't have to have the same as the bottom. But like I said, I wanted to keep this simple. Although I'm sure it doesn't look that simple right now. I think it's just because I never do it on camera. I just don't do that. Make sure nothing is... Why does this look like it's crossing something? Okay, so that was 1, 2, 3. Again, you don't want that to start crossing over that last wire. 1, 2. I hope I've been in frame most of the time here, at least for the important parts. 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Now, of course, I want to make sure I'm doing my, just bringing it. Okay. So I'm probably only going to go up a little bit and then do the rest in a single. And the reason for that is because I am running out, so I may not have enough to come up for the inch. I'll go as far as I can, and we'll see. Okay. So I got 3 there. This is why you have to, you know, have yourself that extra length depending on the weave that you plan on doing. 1, 2, 3. Always separate that. 1, 2, 3. So yeah, I just ask everybody for their forgiveness for, you know, for any mishaps here, is because, like I said, I never do wire work to this extent on camera. I just, it's just very, it's not that easy because I have a tendency to have things close to me, and I think everybody would do that simply because you have more stability when you pull your hands into your, you know, your chest or your, you know, your front. Okay, one more. Okay, then like I said, I'm going to keep going. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep doing that weave. Okay, so as far as I can, as long as it goes about an inch. Okay, so I'll be right back. Okay, so I got it to an inch, and if you guys decided on that pattern, or even just wrapping it around both of them all the way up, just make sure that every few wraps that you know, push down and, you know, push down like this gently so that you're bringing them together, and, you know, give it a nice gentle squeeze to flatten them on there. Okay, so you can see the 2 here forward. We're going to leave that forward. We're going to leave this on. We're not going to snip it yet, okay, because we may not know what we're going to do just yet. So with everything else that we're going to do here, should hopefully, you know, give this a little bit more snugness, I guess. So what you want to do now at this point, you want to bring it forward. Okay, push that forward like that. Okay, make sure it's nice and straight. And we're going to fix all this afterwards, so, because we're going to do something with these 2. In fact, I was going to take them off, but I decided on something that I think all of us pretty much know how to do. So again, bring that forward. And like I said, this is 22 gauge. It's not something I usually work with, so at least you're getting the technique. This is definitely not going to turn out perfect. So now you want to take something small. You can actually, let's see, maybe you could even take your little bail pliers that you have, and just, we're not going to squish anything, but you know, you want to use it so that you can at least get, you know, this is about an inch, so about halfway up, or almost halfway up. that's where you want to take and just give it a nice bend over it. Okay? And it's soft enough, at least if you're working with a 22, to, let's see, so that you can bring it down. Like I said, pull this out, bring this down to meet. I want to get a little more curve on that. I think I'm going to go with, yeah, I just want it a little bit more curvy, not so pointy. Okay. All right. Make sure you have the wire away from you. Right, sure. So, yeah, because it just keeps curling up. Okay. So you're going to bring that down where it meets together, okay? So you should be able to bring that like that. So you'll be able to see your bail, okay? Now this is where you're going to take this and pinch it. Make sure you pinch it, because now we're going to take what we just did, come through, okay? And this is going to tie it together. Make sure it's nice and neat. And just do, okay, and just leave that there. So that brings it together. Okay, now we don't want all of this, so we want to cut some off, because we're going to bring it up and through, okay? So let's take some of those off. Make sure you don't take too much off. Oh, that went flying. You don't want to take too much off, because you can always take off more after, okay? So here they are. And as you can see, you can, that's why you still want your string here, your wire here, because you'll be able to tighten it up again. Okay. So you can hold it there. Oh, Lord. You see why I don't do it on camera? Because there's just too much stuff in the way. Okay. So just still hold it there. Hold it there. And you want to give it a curve, because we're going to be bringing it through. I don't normally do this, but I just don't want that bend in there like that. I wanted a nice curve. Okay. Now you're going to take your wires. Okay, and you're going to just manipulate it through that space. Okay, you're going to go one on each side. I don't know if you can see that. I just want to curve these upward. Okay, so we want to make sure these are separate now, okay? Because one's going to go on one side, one's going to go on the other. So we're going to come through, separate them like that, okay? Gently work it through. See, this is why I don't know how people can do this, but I know that you had asked. No, we want it to go all the way through. All right. All right, well, it's going to go through the back one here, okay? So as you can see, so now this is where we're just anchoring it. Okay. One second. I'm going to make sure I don't have... Okay, now I'm going to bring this, just bring it forward so it's out of the way. We still need it. Alright, I want to cut a little bit more off here, actually. So I want to see that where I wrapped it around that back one here. So I want to be able to get it around again. Okay. So I want to make sure that it's I'm sorry, I am going out of frame. It's basically like doing a corkscrew around, okay? But we want at least two. Okay. Okay, now I want to cut it right in here. Oh, Lord have mercy. I want to get it right here. Okay. And the reason for that is, as you can see, if I had a 20 gauge or an 18 gauge, none of that would happen. But again, like I said, I have to do this for, you know, for beginners purposes, so you can see that even if you are a beginner and you start practicing to manipulate the wire, it's best to start with something thinner and a little bit more flexible, because the 18 gauges, that's just really, really tough. Okay, and just keep checking your wires here. Like I said, bring this around the front. Okay, so now we have to do the same thing. So as you can see, there's two wraps around. That is to secure this. Okay. Hopefully this will work out better. So we want to bring it through just the two. Can you see that? A little at a time. Make sure that you're pushing this outward, because kind of like a little corkscrew, okay? So you're going to come in and you want to come around. So by pulling it, and then you pull that out of the way for a little bit, then come in so that you're cinching it more. So as you're just gently squeezing, you're turning at the same time. Okay. This one I can actually bend this way. I don't need, but I do want to bring, so I'm making that second one. And I can snip it right there. And that's where I'm going to bring that towards the back. And underneath. You want to tuck anything underneath. Okay. Okay. Phew. Oh, I think I'm out of breath. No, I'm sorry, guys. I had to do that. Had to do a funny. Anyway, all right. So yes, now here, I want to make sure that we have this bail. So I think now we can, but what we're going to do is we're going to bring it through the bail, if I can see it. Okay. Make sure it does not get kinked up, because we're just going to bring it through. Oh, thank you guys for your patience so much. Truly, truly. Okay. To make sure that we're getting a nice, I don't want anything, so we can give that a nice pull so it disappears from the front area. Okay. And most of what we're going to do with this, it will go ahead, what is going to cover it anyway, and then we will start manipulating this a little bit more, make it more snug as best we can. The stone won't fall out. I mean, like I said, you really have to get it, it's, you know, where somebody's just really yanking on it, and especially if you're using an 18 or 20 gauge. So we can still go ahead and try to make it snug, and then we'll work on it some more. So now we can go ahead and just go in there and snip that. Okay. And make sure that we have that tied down good. It's all nice and snug in there. Okay, and so far, isn't that pretty? Just that, the shininess of that. And like I said, this is that champagne gold. Is that the one that I got for? Yes, look, the Parawire 28 gauge champagne gold. It's so pretty. So now with this, we're going to do a little rosette. So not only will it hide any of the wires here, but it'll help this dress it up nice with something that most of us already know how to do. So we're going to start with if anybody knows how to do that, the rosette. So it's going to be as you go that way, and then you come underneath, bring it a little ways forward, okay, and then underneath, come forward, go underneath. You can even hold with your thumb so you can kind of manipulate that around. Okay. And just be gentle, like just a gentle little rose. Okay, hopefully this will come out nice, you know? I'm just making a cute little rosette. Of course, we're going to have to move it over. Kind of got sideways. Oh, even if it is sideways, it's still pretty. Okay. And bring it up and then around. Bring that down. This up, that down. And then what you're going to do is we're going to have to snip this a little bit, because now we're going to have to tuck it at least one in there, and we'll figure out what to do with this one. I would say bring that up and then just bring this I think I'm going to bring this. Sorry, I kind of just... This one's going to have to go on that side. Okay, so this one, right here, this little one, you can just pull that up and hold that, okay? Hopefully. I wonder if I can actually cut it smaller, but let's see first. You're just literally going to try to get it in somewhere, park it right in there, okay? That's not the easy part. Okay. Yep. Now we have this one here. So now we got to figure out what we're going to do with it. So I'm going to say we can snip it right there and then tuck it behind all these other wires right here. Okay. That's the thing about wire working. You can find little hidey places to tuck your wires. Okay. And if you can get a hold of it. And there you go. And there is your little rosette on that. Okay. So you want to go ahead and straighten everything out. And now what I'd like to do is try to get a little bit more tightness going on in here. Okay. So let's see. See if I can squeeze a little here. I want to hold down here. I want that butterfly to show. Where is it? Where I had it. Where did it go? So it looked like a little butterfly was coming out, right? Where did, oh, I don't know where it went to. So I want to come in here gently and push down here even. Okay. That'll kind of give it a little more sturdiness. You see all that, what all that hard work does? You see that? It's amazing. And of course I'll have to wash it because I got all my lotion on it. And Oh, it almost looks like a little bird's nest too with an egg. Isn't that cute? Let's see. Yeah. Let's see. All right. Maybe I can turn this a little bit more here. Okay. Let's see what happens. See, that's the thing. Just be gentle and take your time. These things will work out as long as you know that you are the boss of the wire. Okay. All right, I want to try this a little bit. Okay. I'm going to try to curve this out a little bit more. And then hold it right there, and then come in here and turn that in a little bit more. All right, so I think that looks really cute. And there's your back, and definitely seems definitely more stable. So again, you can hold on to that, pull this out more, pull that out more. You can round it. Yeah, I think we're done, guys. I think we are done. I am so happy. Let me just wipe it. Yeah, it's definitely more sturdy. Definitely. So it's in place. See, that's all it takes is, so once you get it, you can go around and just do those tiny little adjustments, and you'll be able to have, you know, a little bit more stability. And there you are, and there is your new bail, everyone. I hope that you enjoyed this, and I hope that you will do this. And I know it looks a lot harder. It's just one of those things that takes a long time. All right, so I think we are going to end this with this. So this is from Isaiah 40, chapter 40, verse 29. He gives strength to the weary and increases the power of the weak. So yeah, it all makes sense from the first one that I started the video off with. So everyone, thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you enjoyed the fact that, you know what, when you make this, do not worry. We all make mistakes. We all struggle. It's okay. And it's more than us just being human. It's not hiding the fact that we're not these perfect Barbie dolls and perfect, you know, cartoon characters. We're just not. So if we can all be okay with the fact that, you know, our tools will slip, we'll screw up on, you know, a certain part, we are okay with that. Okay? All of us together, knowing that true humanity is knowing that we have flaws, and that is our strength as well. Thank you so much, everyone. God bless, and we'll see you soon. Okay, bye-bye.